So you want to know how to draw legs because yours are looking wonky and stuff. Well, I'm going to help you because today I'm going to break it down. No, not like that. I'm going to break down how to draw legs, and we're going to do this by using pixel art because pixel art requires simplification and it makes things easier to grasp. So here we go. Okay, so we're gonna break it down into upper legs and lower legs. So upper legs are gonna be like the thigh, the knee, and well, mostly the knee, and sometimes the glute. And then the lower leg will be like the calves and the foot. Okay. So these are our six basic views of our upper legs. So we have over here, we have RF, which means right leg, and it's the front view. Okay. So this is what this is. So we're gonna make this easier. So here is the shape of the right leg, the right upper leg front view. Yes. So you can see that there's this, what do you call that? An exponential curve? Like it's not an even curve. It's very subtle towards here. It's a slight curve towards here, and then it starts increasing in curvature down there towards the knee. And here is very important. Here is the like inner muscle curve kind of thing. That's what that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an inward curve until you get to the knee. And actually, for many cartoonists, hold on. So that's it more defined. So you can see the knee, you can see that inner curve there. But many people, like in many cartoons, let's see, let me add another layer. They would actually simplify it even further and just make it a straight line. They're literally just making a straight line, and that looks just fine. So like if your character has like more meat on their bones, that's fine. If they're slimmer, it probably looks something like that. But either one works because again, this is just like a guideline. Like this isn't a one size fits all kind of thing because bodies are not one size fits all. Like some people are more lean, some people have more muscle definition or more muscle mass, some people have more fat. So these are just guides. And even with throughout all those body types, these rules still apply. So there's that. So we're gonna leave it as that actually. And as I'm gonna show the rhythm lines because a lot of times people like making the thick points or the points that jut out like a straight line or aligned with each other, and they don't, which is what makes the body look so cool. So these are the rhythm lines. So it goes from here to here, and then over here the outmost point is there. So I'm actually gonna, just for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna make it a little slimmer so you can see that rhythm line. Right, so its outmost point is there, and then it goes to the knee. And if you want a little demonstration or a little more visual help of context, it's like that. And you can see they are not aligned. None of them are on the same x-axis as each other. They're all offset, or on the same y-axis, I guess. Well, they're neither on the same x or y. You get my point. It goes in a zigzag. So that's what that is. Okay. Moving on. We are going to go to the right inner leg. So pretend like this is a side view. This right there is their glute. And pretend like this is an action figure maybe, and we just popped off their left leg. This is gonna be the right inner leg that we see because their left leg is popped off. So that's what that is. And you can see, where is it? You can see that there is a very subtle curve around here. And then it actually does sort of go into that exponential curve around there. And then over here, the turning point is here. So that's the curving point, or the turning point. But over here, it's super subtle and it's up here. And it acts, and the leg, or the upper part of the leg, it does curve in ever so slightly over there into the pelvis or into the hips. So that's what that is. I'll go ahead and turn on the shadow and I will put on the rhythm lines. So there's the glute and then it runs, and then it runs to that front part of the thigh, and then that goes down to the back part of the thigh, that goes to the knee, back part of the knee. To make it a little easier, that's what we got. That's what we got. Okay. Moving on. Where is... There we go. All right, so now we have the right top view. So this is if we're looking from above. And just to help you know which, like what the orientation is, this right here is their foot below. So they're pointing outward. So this person, their body is pointing that way. So again, we see another subtle curve like so. Or that exponential one. You know, we're never really going to see this angle either. Like this is an angle like this we would usually not see because either the shoulder or the arm or something's going to be covering it. But if we had X-ray vision, this is what we would see. You can see over here, it's very subtle, but this curve is higher than this curve. And then we have a very, very, very subtle inner curve because that's that very subtle inner curve right here. That's what that is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the shading and the rhythm lines. There's not really a point for the rhythm lines for this, but that's what it is. Okay, you got it? Got it. Feel free to screenshot, to pause anytime you need to. I will wait. Okay. I mean, I'll wait if you press the pause button. I'm going to keep going. Next, we have the left upper thigh, left upper leg back view, which is the same silhouette as the right front view. We just went to the other side of this person. All right, this is the back side of them now. So it's the same exact subtle curve, but now instead of this being from the front, this is from the back. So that right there is their glute to help you see that. And that's the outer leg. Again, that exponential, that parabola curve or whatever you call that. And also you could, if you wanted to, fill that and it would still look totally fine. Still totally look fine. But you can also take that away and then, okay, that's just a slimmer person now. And then these over here, that's the calf muscles inserting themselves behind the hamstrings. So that's what that is. It'll be the same rhythm lines as it was for the front view. And it'll be the same apex points. Yes, see? Okay. Moving on to the left outer leg. So we put the action figure's left leg back on, and now they are looking that way. That was a terrible arrow. Oh my gosh. That way. That's the direction that this leg is facing. Okay, so again, let me get the shadow out of the way. A subtle curve, the same thing as this. It's the same. It's the same. So really, you're just learning 3 views. When you learn the rhythm of 3 views, you've learned the rhythm of all of them, at least for a straight on view. So again, very, very, very subtle curve here. And then that parabola curve here. And then the apex over here, where it goes behind the knee. So I'll turn on the shadow, and I'll put on the rhythm lines, which is the same exact thing. You already know this, or I've already went over. Yeah, I've already went over this. So yeah, it's nothing new at this point. But again, these rhythm lines are super important, because if you don't have them, or at least a general visual of them, then, or general representation of them, it's not going to, like, your bodies aren't going to look right. They're going to look like the Michelin Man or a snowman, and we're not drawing snowmen. I mean, if you want to draw a snowman, hey, then you don't need to be watching this video. But if you want to draw people who look like people, then this is the video for you. These are the rhythms that you want to get. Doesn't even matter if it's this video, any video that tells you about the rhythms, that's what you want to listen to, because that's how the body works. It's not symmetrical. Okay, moving on to the last upper thigh. I keep saying upper thigh. The last upper leg video. The last upper leg section. Okay, and this one is also a weird one, because so this is from the bottom, right? We're over here. This is from the bottom. This right here is a foot, but we would never see the upper leg in isolation over here. Like, we'd usually have, like, the calf would be covering it. It would be like over there or something. Like, that would be the calf. But again, for demonstration purposes, this is our upper leg from the bottom view. So like, if this person was above us on a floor that had a glass floor above us, that was redundant. If this person was on the ceiling and the ceiling was made of glass and we're looking up at that person, this right here is their left foot / left leg. So again, it's the same thing as the right leg. I will go ahead and move the foot out of the way. Subtle curve over there. It curves a little more, and you'll notice it's down. It doesn't meet that way. It's very subtle. And we have that parabola curve. And then we have that subtle curve for the inside. So this right here, that's the foot. And then I will show you the rhythm lines, which is kind of crazy in here, but hopefully that's a little readable. Okay, so that is our upper legs. Now we're gonna move on to the lower legs. So let's pull that up. Here's what we got. Okay, and we're gonna go through the same exact format. Okay, starting from our right lower leg from the front view. So this right here is the knee, and that's the calf, and that's the foot. Okay, so let me take the shadow away just to make things easier to see. You'll notice that there's a nice S curve right here. It's very drawn out, but it's relevant. It's required. It is definitely required. This right here is the foot. So the foot makes that S curve. It curves in here towards the knee. So you see how let me move this out of the way. See how the upper leg comes down here. So this right here is a continuation of it coming down. So like that would be the upper leg. You see what I mean? Yeah. And then it will come down like that. And this right here is a very subtle, I would say S curve. Yeah. Because the calf, the inner calf comes out and then comes in very subtly. But honestly, some cartoonists, again, they simplify it even more. And they'll just put it right, I said put it right down the middle. Then again, now that calf looks a little too meaty, or the ankle looks meaty, but you get the idea. It looks off because this is pixel art and because I don't have many pixels to work with. And because of that, one pixel will change things so drastically. But I do this again so that it simplifies the shape so that your brain can sort of see it from far away, like, oh, okay, that's the kind of curve that we're going for. Okay. So you would just essentially blend this out with your pen, your marker, your brush, whatever it is that you're using. So it curves in over, I said selection tool, curves in, and then it does that S curve. And notice the ankle. So the ankle is not straight. This right here is the inner ankle, and this is the outer ankle. Notice they're not on the same x-axis or y-axis. They're not right across from each other. It's like it's diagonal. And the inner is higher and the outer is lower. Inner ankle is higher, outer ankle is lower. Okay, let me go ahead and turn on the shadow and turn on the rhythm line. So you see the apex of the outer calf is here and it goes down here. And the apex of the inner ankle, which I already went over, is higher and the outer ankle is lower. Okay, moving on. Now we have the right inner lower leg. Okay, so this is the right inner lower leg. This is if the person is facing that away. Hello. There is locked. Oh, yes. Yeah, so that's the direction that this leg is facing. Okay, we just popped off the left leg. So this is the right leg. So in order to make that a little easier, yeah, there you go. So again, it follows a very subtle S curve. And up there, the calf goes diagonally out, and then the overall structure comes in at a curve. This is our shape. I think it's easier to visualize it this way because we're trying to get the negative space as opposed to follow or focus on the form itself, because it's very easy to get lost in or make mistakes in when you're drawing something that you've seen forever. Like we've all, I imagine, seen many feet or lower legs or just bodies in general. So whenever we draw, we have our own idea of what it's supposed to look like. And because of that, we draw what we think is there, as opposed to seeing what actually is there. So if you focus instead on these blue spaces that are in this box that the actual leg cuts out, you don't have any attachment to these blue spaces. So if you master that, it's easier for you to draw them more accurately, because they're just, you don't have any attachment to them. You don't have any preconceived notions. You don't have any misconception. You don't have an idea in your head of how it's supposed to look. You just draw the curves of these things. But the convenient thing is, if you just draw the curves of these things, then by definition, you also draw the actual leg or whatever body part is in there, because they share the same edge. So this is our little workaround. This is our cheat code right here. So again, an S curve. Notice how over here, it also has a curve, but it's lower than this curve. Okay. And this ankle is higher than the outer ankle. So that's that. These are the rhythm lines. Goes again. Think zigzags. Zigzags are your friend when drawing the body, in terms of gesture at least. Okay. So now we are going to move on to the right lower leg from the top view. So again, this is another weird one, because we usually don't see the whole right lower leg from the top view, because the upper leg would be covering it, and along with the shoulder or the arm or whatever it is. We wouldn't see that, but in order to make it a little easier, this right down here is the foot. So this is the person's right foot, and we're looking above, well, yeah, we're looking down at them, so we're above them. So again, it has a curve here. It has a curve that's lower here. It comes down a little more. This right here is usually pretty flat or straight, because that right there is the shin bone. And the shin bone has basically no muscle over it, actually, which is why when we hit our shin, it hurts like a mother, because we have no flesh or muscle protecting it. Like if you were to hit your calf back here, yeah, okay, it'll hurt, obviously, if you hit it hard enough, but we have some sort of cushion. We have calf muscles. There are no shin muscles. It is just bone, and if you hit it, it's pain. Not a fun time. Don't recommend it. So that is what that is. And oh, I didn't draw any gesture lines for that. All right, because it's just weird. But if you wanted, it's so weird. Why didn't the rhythm lines go for that? Okay, I guess I'm drawing them live. Where is that? Right. So over here, comes down here, comes down here, comes down here. That's it. You don't even really need to see stuff like this, but I mean, this right here, that's a good one to know. That's a good one to know. And it's good to know that this curve actually right here, it's a little more, curves a little higher actually. I said it curves a little higher. A little higher. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. So now we are at the left leg, or the left lower leg from behind. And oh, since we're on the topic of lower legs, feet. Notice, it's just really quick. Notice how the inner part of the foot is flatter and the outer part is more slanted. That is all. So same thing over here. It's the same silhouette as the other one, except, no, it's the same more or less. So this is the inner foot, which is why it's flat or flatter. And over here is the outer foot, or the outer part of the foot, which is why it is more slanted. And these up here are the calf muscles that insert themselves behind or inside of the hamstring of the upper leg. So that's what that is. So over here, so just looking at the overall shape of the lower leg, we see the calf goes down here. Notice how the apex is right there. Or the, okay, notice how the apex is right there. Yes, but the apex over here on the outer part is higher. Very, very, very important. Again, these rhythms are everything. Or the gestures, whatever, the flow, whatever you want to call it. That idea of imbalance and asymmetry. That's what it's all about. Okay, so was that right? There goes another subtle S curve. And as I said before, this is more slanted and this is flatter. This actually is straight or comes out a little bit, but then the part that comes out the most is right there, by like towards the end of that calf muscle. So I'm gonna turn on the rhythm lines. These are here. They're the most important things to remember when drawing the leg, and those are the points. Okay, we are moving on. We're moving on. All right, now we have the left leg, but it's the outer part. So it's literally just if a person was facing that away from the side. That's a terrible arrow, but hopefully you get the idea. Again, terrible arrow. Sure. So this, again, would be the same thing as that in terms of rhythms or in terms of shape. So again, a long S curve. Long one. And then you have the calf angling back and then angling forward like that. And then you carve it out. It's basically like a circle if you carved it out like that. That's what you would have for that part. I'm gonna give you a little bonus tip for the outer calf. The calf muscle overlaps like a, it overlaps like that. So notice how if you were to finish that, it would be like that kind of a circle. That's how the muscle would be represented. But the inside, the bottom part comes in like that. See the difference there? It's subtle, but it's there. This one curves inward like so. This one on the outer side curves outward. Yeah, it's a little cheat code for you. Okay, yeah, and notice how the ankle here is lower than the ankle here because the inner ankle is higher than the outer ankle. Okay, moving. Oh, right, let me go ahead and turn on these rhythm lines. Oh, I didn't do the red circles for this part, but you see it. You see the idea. I don't even need to put those circles on because you know it. You know it by now. Okay. And now we are moving on to the last portion. So we have the left lower leg from, we're looking up at it. So again, it's if we were on the first floor and the person in this image is on the second floor above us, standing on a glass floor and we're looking up at them. So this right here is their foot. So this view actually makes more sense because we do see, or we are able to see, the lower leg in this view because it's right after the foot. Seeing the upper leg from this view is weird because usually the lower leg is in between them, but now we're at the in between. So yeah. So basically, for this, why did I? Whatever. Okay, so for this leg, what we want to do, or what we want to observe, is that there is a curve, bars. It's very subtle though, from over here, like right over here. And notice how this part is high, or the outer part is higher than the lower. The outer part is higher than the lower. And there goes that shin muscle again, or the shin muscle. There is no shin muscle. There goes that shin bone again, or the tibia, whatever you want to call it. And then because the outer part does have muscle, it curves a little more. Curves a little more than over here. This right here is supposed to be like a straight line, but over here is supposed to be a little more of a curve. And bonus for feet, this is the inside, or the inner side of the foot. So it's going to be straighter. You just have the ball of the foot right there. And then the outer part of the foot is also slanted from top to bottom. Doesn't matter what way you're looking at it. Inner is straight, outer is slanted. Inner is straight, outer is slanted. Okay. And then I'll just turn on these rhythm lines. Whoops. I said I'll turn on these rhythm lines. Yeah, that's basically the only rhythm you need to know. Just the curve on the outside is higher than the curve on the inside. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see that. So that is legs. Those are legs from top, bottom, left, right, in, out, front, back, all that. Hopefully this helped you, and I'm gonna do the same thing, or I'm planning on doing the same. Yeah, I see myself doing the same thing for arms and for the torso and for the head. So if you want to have this same sort of breakdown and you found this helpful, I would keep an eye. Oh, what? Yes, I would keep an eye out for the videos coming up on my channel, because these are actually really helpful for me as well. Like, I know I was teaching you, but this helps me too, because it's very easy to get lost in the sauce and lost in all the small curves and details of everything and forget the bigger picture. So this right here is a good big picture to just keep in the back of your mind as you're drawing legs or anything, to just put them in a box and see what they're cutting out of that box. And if you just are able to know what they're cutting out and draw that accurately, then by definition, you will draw what's in the box accurately, because they share the same form and the same surface. So yes, I'm planning on doing arms as well. Arms, the head, the torso, and whatever else you would find helpful or suggest in the comments. So that is that. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.